Hello and welcome everyone today to Elevate Your Wellbeing Contagious Care. Session 9 today, and today we're looking at setting an intention, how to set our intentions, and more importantly, how to keep them. So welcome to particularly new people today. Lots of new members have come in, so especially want to welcome you guys. And please give a wave or a thumbs up to let me know you're here. Hi, Melinda. Good to see you. Melinda's the lovely girl. Sorry if I'm embarrassing you, Melinda, but oh my goodness, your artwork has just been tremendous. And no pressure to put anything up today whatsoever. But yeah, it's been a gift to have that up there just for the pictures, the metaphors that I'm using, the beautiful pictures that you can bring in that, which helps so many others. Welcome, Kate. Hey, and Carol, lovely to have you here. And so setting an intention and how to keep it. We've done the 3 topics this week that really flow into each other. The deep breathing, which really elevates our well-being by enabling us to slow down and really focus on who we are and what we're here for. And we'll integrate that later in future sessions. But then the second part was our Thursday session on just how to be grateful for all that we have, who that we are, and what is around us. And now the session on setting an intention. And the reason why these 3 flow in together, because breathing slowly and then looking at our gratitudes are what we need to do first before we set an intention to really hook it in, to really ground it. So really important that we get that sequence. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you can just tell me what your energy levels are today, because the outcome of setting an intention has a lot to do with energy levels. That's an outcome. It raises our energy levels as well as many other wonderful things, which we'll look at today. But on a scale of 0 to 10, how are your energy levels today? Hi, Amanda. Lovely to see you, and Kristen as well. So while you're doing that, just writing in a number that in the comments section on what your energy levels are today. Let's think about what success is. So it doesn't just happen. Well, we know what success is in any area of our life, but it doesn't just happen. There's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes of successful people. Let's just look at athletes, because that's an easy, tangible thing to look at. And, you know, for most athletes, they make a decision. In other words, they set an intention. This is what I want to do. After they've set that intention, they take action. They get up at 5 a.m. in the morning to do their swim lessons or whatever it is that their training requires. And then after they've taken action, there's a third step. They practice, practice, practice. So really, really important to look at that practice, and that's what we're going to be doing today. And that's why I've got an Olympic torch from the 2000 Olympic Games. Hi, Kristen, Carol, Rose, and Rhonda. Good to see you all here. So actually, it's lovely to have you here, Rhonda, in particular, because you will remember this torch. You were with us when our daughter Melinda, at the age of 13, carried this torch in the 2000 Olympic torch relay that went around Australia and started off in England and went right through the world. And she was privileged to carry this torch, not because she was a good athlete, but, you know, she's not Michael Jordan's standard, which I'm going to be talking about in a minute. But she was a good athlete. She was a state swimmer and a state skier and rhythmic gymnast as well. But it wasn't it wasn't the abilities that the Sydney 2000 Olympic torchbearers were chosen on. What was wonderful was that they were chosen on 7 characteristics in their, obviously, part of their character. Characteristics like generosity, teamwork, community spirit, and wonderful attributes that and sportsmanship was just one of them. Okay, community spirit and involvement was a big one, and so is generosity. And so it's interesting. Her swim coach nominated her, and sorry if I'm embarrassing you, our Melinda, who's not here at the moment but might be on the replay. I know. Rhonda's saying, I remember well, Melinda, receiving the torch in Cootamundra. Yes, wonderful, wonderful experience, an amazing day. But that was all based on character attributes, which is more important than just one attribute of physical sportsmanship. Yeah, I think we'd all agree on that. But let's look at what real athletes have to do in order to achieve their goals. Remember, I said they set their intention, they make a decision. This is what I want to do. They take action on that decision. Yes, I have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, no matter how I feel, to be able to do that training. And then they practice, practice, practice. And Michael Jordan, I just found this out today. I haven't watched the documentary series yet, but there is one on that's just come out apparently. And he was cut from his high school team of basketball. And he could have given up right then and we never would have heard his name. He went into college. He was okay at basketball in college, but not brilliant at that time. And so he had struggles. But it took him 7 years of setting an intention. This is what I want to do. He practiced, 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 and now he's a household name and a beautiful character as well. So it's interesting how the opposite of that is, he made a decision, he thought about it, and he took action. Look at the situation in COVID right now with homeschooling. Parents did not make a decision to do homeschooling. It just fell upon them, okay? They have the best intentions in the world, but because they want to do the best for their children under these circumstances of troubling times. But as it turns out, issues have gotten in the way. A survey of homeschooling parents showed that 30% of the students have received an official warning, 10% of the students have been sent out of the classroom, and it was also reported that 45% of the homeschool teachers have been caught drinking on the job. So, it's tough. There's been no intention set to start with. It just happened upon these poor parents who are doing homeschooling and struggling, even though there's lots of gratitudes that come with that, as we talked about on Thursday. It's tough under all the same roof. So oftentimes we allow the day to just happen to us instead of us making things happen in our day. Okay? When you set an intention, you're activating your receptivity and manifesting and putting out there that which you intend to call into your life. And that is the power behind it. Why is this important? Because how you set your day ends up being how you set your life. So let's look at, on that scale of 0 to 10, what your energy levels are today. Just put in a number that represents your energy levels right now. Now, there are 5 benefits of setting an intention. There's many more, actually, but I'm going to note 5. It rewires your brain, helps you to think differently. It enables you to engage your highest potential. It creates long-lasting change in your life. It renews your mind and your spirit in the end, and it adds healthy habits and behaviors to your life. In other words, setting intentions help you live your life by design rather than by default. Setting an intention is more than just passively thinking about a goal. It's your internal attitude. Everything you bring to your goal setting. While it may not seem like much, relentlessly reminding yourself of what you actually desire, the characteristics that you want to exhibit in your day today, that actually helps you reach your desires. So you've got to live and breathe and eat and even sleep what you are after. Now, our intentions come before our goals. Setting a daily intention helps you keep focused for the day. It gives you much greater clarity. So what attribute do you most want to exhibit or demonstrate today? For me, I wanted to become more focused today. I've had a busy morning. I've had ample opportunity to feel gratitude. These are the little flowers my grandchildren picked for me today as we went running around the headland with Sasha, our wonder dog. And that was my exercise this morning before I set up here to get ready. And so gratitude has been an important thing in my life this morning, just enjoying beautiful scenery, amazing wind, and letting the wind carry us with our wings flapping and the grandchildren running behind me. It was just gorgeous. So gratitude came in, and then before that, when I woke up, my intention, I was thinking about other gratitudes as I'd done my deep breathing, and then I set an intention. And for me this morning, it was to be really focused. Hello, Kathy and Alita and Joanne. Welcome. Great to see you. So first of all, we're setting a number 0 to 10, between 0 to 10 of what energy levels we have today. Just jot it in there in the comments section. And then I want you to, just as I gave you the example, what intention do you have today? What attribute do you want to actually develop more of, exhibit, or demonstrate today? So I just had in my mind, I didn't write it down this morning. I'm going to encourage you to do that as you set up a habit to start with. But I just said to myself, today I'm going to be more focused. Because I had a lot on my plate this morning in looking after the grandchildren and then focusing on this. So then I turned it into a question, because this helps you develop creativity. So I turned the statement of today I'm going to develop more focus, I turned that into the question, how many ways can I continue to be more focused? Notice it's in the present tense. How many ways can I continue? So it's already suggesting that I am focused, but I'm going to become more focused. Okay, it's heading towards more of that attribute. So put in your attribute that you want to develop more of today. Okay, love to see what it could be. Creativity, it could be efficiency, it could be curiosity, it could be generosity, developing more insight, more wisdom, whatever it is, more communication skills, whatever. Might be just showing empathy, compassion, or listening. Might be more humor. Jot in what you want to actually develop today. So staying focused on this one attribute will then help you achieve your goals for the day. So how do you turn this mindset into reality, into a reality? By simply practicing, just like Michael Jordan did, simply practicing these 10 methods. They're quick methods, so don't be too perturbed, of getting extremely specific with what you want and then just letting go of all the rest. So let's look at the first one, creating a mantra. I said, today I'm going to be more focused. Okay, a simple mantra. Think about what you really want and then consider all the ways you're subconsciously blocking yourself from achieving that intention. So think about that at the moment, the things that are blocking, and then tune out all those negative thoughts and create a positive mantra to repeat through the day until you've demonstrated, that enables you to be determined to accomplish what you're setting out to do. Now, I'll give you an example of something that happened for me many years ago, and I remember it so well. I wasn't great on intentions then, but I was, okay at it. And what I did, this was about 18 years ago now. So I was going on a bike ride as a fundraiser, and it was a really important fundraiser. I was invited by a very dear friend, and it was called Ride to the Top, and it was from Sydney to Kosciuszko. Now, for those of you who are in other countries, Sydney to Kosciuszko is 650 kilometres on all the back roads, okay? Beautiful scenery. But I was scared stiff to start with. Hi, Musha. Lovely to see you. Welcome. If you've just come in, we're looking at intentions just on a scale of 0 to 10. Let me know how energetic you feel today with a number, and then set your intention for the day. As Joanne, thank you, has said, I'd love to be more organized. So Joanne, change that to, I'm going to be more organized, okay? I am going to be more organized. Kristen, using my time more wisely. Wonderful. Okay, so I was saying about this Sydney to Kosciuszko ride. First time I'd done anything like that in my life. Yes, I did a bit of cycling for sure, but no long distance cycling like that. So I was pretty nervous. And what happened was that I was holding negative thoughts about it to start with. I really wanted to do it because it was raising money for what's called Kids with Grit, and government funding had just dropped all those programs for children who'd been exposed to domestic violence. And it's so important that they are in groups where they can learn different ways of not to have those behaviours of their mum accepting violence and their dad perpetrating. And so we were giving programs to be able to help them reverse the cycle, do something different in their lives so they don't perpetuate the cycle. And so my friend set up this who is the cyclist, set up this wonderful fundraiser to be able to keep those programs going. And so I really believed in the purpose of riding from Sydney to Mount Kosciuszko, but just getting there seemed like, my goodness, how am I going to do that? So I identified my negative attitudes that were stopping me from being successful with my setting of the intention to go and do this. My negative attitudes, well, it came out all in recurring nightmares, actually. I actually was keeping on visualizing just in the night of me cycling up, being the last in the whole group of men. I was the only woman doing it. And I just visualized them waiting for like 2 hours at the end of Charlotte's Pass, which was the top of how much you could cycle. And then we walked up the next day to Mount Kosciuszko. And for those of you in other countries, highest mountain in Australia. Not high compared to other mountains. It's only 2,228 metres, but it was high enough to cycle up to, let me tell you. So these recurring nightmares were holding me back from being positive when I was out there training. And although it was a funny nightmare in a way of all these guys just waiting for me and me just clambering up this hill, really, I started praying for another female to join the ride. And lo and behold, a week before the ride began, another female did join, but it wasn't the prayer that I asked for. It wasn't the type of female I was asking for. I was just asking for my caliber, which wasn't much. But it was actually an Australian champion who was using this ride as a warm-up for the Asia Pacific titles. So she wasn't much help to me. She was faster than the other men. So anyway, I noticed, Carol, you've put humour there. You're wanting to develop more humour, and I hope you're laughing about my story now, because I know you came and watched me as I set off on that ride from Parramatta very first time. Anyway, so I had to change my negative thinking to a positive mantra. Heather, you can do this. Heather, I will become strong and fit enough to ride from Sydney to Mount Kosciuszko. And that was my positive mantra that I created every time I was out there cycling for training. So I trained about 5 times a week at that stage to lead up to the big ride. And I did it. And, I didn't do it with ease, but I did it, and it was fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. So I had to really change that negative mantra to a positive one. So the second point is share your intention with a friend. Sharing what you want with someone else will keep you focused on the goal you want to achieve. It encourages you to become extra clear on your ambition, and it holds you accountable to your goals no matter the time frame. Okay, you've shared it with someone else, and that's the value of sharing. You can just click share on these sessions with a friend of yours to be able to share it together, talk about it together, what you're achieving, what you're learning, how you're going, and it really helps. So yeah, please share these sessions with as many people as you like to A, give benefit to them, and B, to have fun in your learning as you have an accountability partner. So the third point is to verbally share your intention with yourself as well. Now, by now, you know your intentions by heart, okay? With the thought, keep coming in, keep rolling in your intentions of what you want just for today. As an example, Rhonda's put to finish some long, outstanding projects that are in the back of the cupboard awaiting attention. So you could frame that, Rhonda, as I am going to finish some projects today. Not all of them, but finish some projects today that are out there. So you've got your intention. So first thing in the morning, after you wake, verbally share out loud what you desire. It could be a mantra or even a few sentences about the characteristic that you want to develop today, or the kind of life you want and see yourself having. And say it with conviction in the present tense. Then number 4, create a ritual. Incorporate your intentions into your normal morning routine. So if you like to sit down, sip a cup of coffee, make some time to state your intentions while you're doing that. Again, when you first wake up in the morning, but then repeat it in your morning routine. If you have a shower in the morning, repeat it as you're showering. Or while the coffee is brewing, or while you're pouring your cup, get a routine established of when you set that intention. And then the 5th thing, meditate. Now, we're going to look at that later, but you on the Tuesday session, when we looked at that deep breathing, we all know that meditation can help our mental health enormously in many ways, from helping us sleep so much better, to easing our tensions through the day. It quietens our mind. And go back to session 6 if you haven't seen it. Session 7, I think it was, yes, on Tuesday, of connecting with our breath. So you start to focus on your breath, deep breathing, 4 inhales, 6 exhales to start with, and then appreciation, 3 appreciations you might just want to think of, because that expands your energy to then be able to really practice your gratitude to get to the intention. So number 6.6 of these methods is to focus on what you do have by practicing gratitude. Focus on what you're grateful for in this moment. Now, here's the unconventional part of this. To practice gratitude for the thing that you deeply desire as if you already have it. Remember, I talked about stating it in the present tense? Because by repeatedly stating your intention and focusing on what you do have, you're actually working towards your goal. So, number 7, ask for and vision what you want. Then let the rest go. So before the day begins, ask or state what your intention is. Think about it, revel in it, enjoy it, vision it in color, and then resist the urge to control every aspect of your day so that whatever you desire will happen in its own way. In other words, trust the process. And then point 8, remind yourself daily. The best way to truly set an intention is to be firm with yourself and not forgetting it. Okay, so it's no good setting the intention in the day and then think, oh, what was that intention? Okay, put it on a piece of paper. I don't have a piece of paper. Oh, yes, I do. Put it on, no. Oh, it's all right. Just get a little piece of paper. Here you go. Just a little Post-it note, for example, and put it on one side, your intention, remember, to actually talk about it in the current sense, okay, that I will be more focused today. And then on the other side, you can say, how many ways can I continue to be more focused? So be creative about those questions. How many more ways can I continue to be more focused? Be creative about that with those questions. So answer those questions and carry your little Post-it note or your little bit of paper around with you in your handbag, in your pocket, whatever, so that you can see how many ways through the day you have continued to be more focused. So that's where repetition is important. Remind yourself daily, remind yourself through the day. Repetition is your best friend here. Every morning and throughout the day, set your intention and keep focused. The 9th point is consider how you will feel. Now, a large part of setting an intention is getting super specific about how it is you want it to be and how you'll feel once you get it. So it's tapping into those emotions and making your dreams feel more real and plausible. For example, with that ride to the top, which I ended up doing 5 times, actually 5.5 times after I'd had cancer. I only did half the ride after my whole cancer year of treatment. I just did half the ride. But I did it a number of times because it became so enjoyable, and being able to focus on being able to raise all this money for such good causes. Anyway, what I did in the feelings in order to get there is I focused on feeling how great it would be with raising thousands and thousands of dollars for this Kids with Grit program. And you know, I really believed in that program. And then I ended up raising money for a Ugandan orphanage that our daughter Christine was volunteering in for 6 months in her gap year. And we went over and saw that orphanage and the people in it and the person who founded it. And so that was really meaningful to me. So it's important that you find meaning in your intention, and then obviously meaning in the goals that you set afterwards. But I needed to feel how good it would be to raise all that money for those charities. And also, I knew that I'd feel really good by achieving the distance, getting up to the top on that last day, and the tenacity that it would take. So I visualized how good it would feel to be that fit to do that, to physically get there, and the enjoyment in the process as well, because, I do like cycling. So it's feeling the emotion of what that will bring you. And then the last point, number 10, is write it down the night before. We talked about writing it down, but sometimes it's helpful to start the last part of your day with how you want to finish the next part of your day. So finish with the end in mind, which was Steve Covey's famous quote. And he's written the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and that was one of his habits. Start with the end in mind. So sometime before bed, write down your goal, spell out what it is, what your life will look like once you accomplish it, and how you'll feel when you've accomplished it. How you will feel. And feel how you will feel in that moment. And then in the morning, read what you wrote. Make sure it's extremely specific to set your mindset for the day. So living a life by design rather than by default only works if you have a plan in place to shift your mindset as you shift your behaviors and actions. So we need to shift our mindset first in order to shift our behavior. And by having that belief in yourself, you can create the life you want to lead. It's been said that if you could actually see who was walking beside you in your life, you'd never be doubtful. So trust in yourself. I visualize God walking beside me. You choose how you want to visualize the strength that walks beside you. Visualize everything you've learnt, all your wisdom that you've gained in your life, and put that into action. Because when we apply intentionality and discipline to specific areas of our lives, we will see results. So, next week, we're going to look at mindset and how you can change your brain and how it can be used to create your well-being vision. So I want to encourage you right now, before we finish this session, just jot down your intention for the day, because when we write it down, we actually have a halfway there to achieving it. Okay, so Musha, I noticed that you said to not be stressed by all I have to do, but to treasure the moment right now. Beautiful. I love that, Musha. Hey, so, can others follow Musha and Rhonda and others that that have written in the comments? And if you're actually seeing the replays of this, put your intention in the comments, so that then you've actually taken a step towards getting there. And that's a huge step, because you've actually had the courage to put it up here. And we're just going to encourage you. We're your family. We're a group of constructive encouragers here, because we're all about contagious care. We're caring for each other through this season. So, and I've been really appreciative of all the encouragements that you make towards each other in this group. So take that step of courage, put your intention in, and you might even want to even add the questions of how you're going to be more organized, how you're going to be more treasuring the moment right now, how you are going to be more humorous, as Carol has said. So enjoy acting on this. Remember, life rewards action. Okay? And it's not about getting it perfect. It's not even about getting it right. It's just about getting it started. So I just want to say to you, to prepare you for the next, I'm considering only doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when now the good news of a few restrictions being lifted here in Australia at least. But I wouldn't mind getting feedback on you from you of whether the Saturdays does affect you or not in this with the lives. If it's helpful for you to do it on Saturdays, I will keep doing it. But if it's better for you to enjoy that time with your families on Saturdays, I want to honor that, and we could just do Tuesdays and Thursdays. So give me a bit of feedback on that. I want to be guided by you. Melinda, you've put in to use my breath to calm down when I'm feeling overwhelmed by the children. Good on you, Melinda. An excellent way of slowing everything down to decrease that overwhelm. We appreciate any time you can offer. Please enjoy your weekend. Okay, so I'll just be, thanks, Melinda. I'll be guided by you, so please pop in the comments or personal message, whatever fits for you. And so anyway, next week, mindset. So we look forward to that and how we can change our brain. And until then, be brave, be life-giving, and let your beautiful light shine.